14th of August 1947, 7 a.m. In the village of Rameshwaram, a young 16-year-old boy was dreaming of anything but the sea. He was used to watching his father build boats which the passengers and fishermen used to cross the turbulent seas with. But Abdul Kalam was more excited about the birds. He wanted to fly like these winged creatures. He looked at space and the stars, and he wished to reach for them. On that day of that year, moments before India was being born, Abdul Kalam's dreams could be termed the fantasies of a young imagination. By 1963, this same country had sent its first rocket, built by indigenous technology. By 1980, it had launched its own missiles. And ironically, that young dreamer in that obscure coastal village in Rameshwaram was to become a vital link with this growth of India's science and technology. For Dr. APKJ Abdul Kalam would be mentioned years later as among the pioneers of Indian rocket science. Yet, for thousands like him, when India woke to freedom, they could only dream. Like that young Punjabi refugee we left in the suites of Delhi's Imperial Hotel. Har Prasad was determined to earn back the wealth he had lost when he crossed the border. Displaced from Lahore, he had dreams of becoming an industrialist, to set up factories which would manufacture machinery. In the beginning, he only imported tractors. In the years to come, H.P. Nanda was to manufacture them and set up an industrial empire. By this act, which he undertook in a protected economic environment, he was, whether wittingly or otherwise, becoming part of a larger national debate. For India was then a country savaged by famines, tortured by hunger and deprivation. These modern machines a young H.P. Nanda was bringing in would become a part of the battle towards agricultural self-reliance. To the young man then, on the 14th of August 1947, his only concern may have been to find a tool for generating wealth. Unknown to him, all this machinery and manufacturing units he would set up in later years would be elements of two visions contending with each other. Visions born out of two convictions deeply felt by two extremely and exceptionally articulate gentlemen. One was for many years the disciple of the other. But Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was as committed to building modern India through technology and science as Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, his spiritual father, was opposed to India imitating the industrial and technological society of the West. 50 years later, modern India is testament as to whose vision prevailed. But this in no way belittles or refutes the philosophy of the great saint. To this day, there are many who feel the folly of having chosen the path of industrialization. It is a debate we'll pick up later. For the moment, let us examine some immediate repercussions of that fateful day in 1947. In August 1947, he was only a minor actor and a struggling playwright, an active member of the IPTA, a formidable organization which preached a strong humanist ideology, frequenting a film society which was then set up by a young advertising executive, Satyajit Ray, in Calcutta. But on that momentous Thursday in 1947, Ritwik Ghatak's dilemma was only just to begin. And it started with a physical division of the land, conceived and conducted on his Shonar Bangla. He may not have been aware till much later that the days following the 15th of August 1947 had traumatized his psyche, shaped, some said even colored, his entire creative vision. In the years to come, when he would make critically acclaimed films, every one of them would use this partition as a leitmotif. As a melancholic cry, each of them would be a study of the after effects of this rupture. For Ritwik Ghatak, it may have been a lifelong obsession, this partition of the subcontinent. But even as India was being reorganized, even as its framework was being revised, there were many who would find in this colossal historical saga the stuff of riveting literary and artistic merit. In the years to come, in the works of the likes of Manto, Rajendra Singh Bedi and Bhisham Sahni, the birth of India would be documented in real human terms. Govind Nihalani was barely 7 years old. He lived in Karachi, and the vivid memories of the brutal massacres, of communal carnage, would remain in his subconscious. Almost 40 years later, he would exorcise this ghost in a television serial documenting those harrowing days. The Bombay film industry, already vibrant and creative, already emotionally wedded to the concept of an independent nation. By the 14th of August 1947, this industry had a significant migrant population from Peshawar and Punjab. In the studios in Bombay and Pune, the likes of Prithvi Raj Kapoor, Sunil Dutt, Balraj Sahni, Dev Anand and Yusuf Khan, who was better known by his screen name of Dilip Kumar, were already making a mark. They had come to Bombay and settled in this port city along the Arabian Sea much before there was tinsel in this tinsel town. And on the 14th of August 1947, they had all pledged, some consciously and others perhaps unconsciously, never to go back. In the next 50 years, this collection of migrants from Punjab and many others from other parts of the country helped in founding one of the world's most exciting and largest cinema-producing centres. The theme of their films may be termed escapist entertainment, but these films were already addressing social issues, the integration of communities, the evil of the caste system. But more importantly, in almost every one of them, there were subterranean messages for freedom and independence. In some, this message was very overt. For this young woman, the 14th of August 1947 would be the redemption of a pledge. A few years earlier, she had taken a different path, followed a different leader whose mesmeric charm preached an ideology diametrically opposite to those who believed in Gandhi's non-violence. Captain Lakshmi Swaminathan was the leader of the Rani Jhansi Brigade, a part of the Indian National Army founded by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Lakshmi Swaminathan was convinced, as were the thousands who served in the INA, that freedom could only be won through the barrel of a gun. But Lakshmi Swaminathan was only one face of the Indian woman. On the 14th of August 1947, she was more the exception than the rule. The country's mythology, its religion deified goddesses, but in the villages, in the cities, in the urban slums, women were yet to be emancipated. In the coming decades, one of the challenges faced by independent India was to restore this dignity to half of its population.